Yes, I'm here to get into The Godfather, which was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, released in the year 1972. And this just holds up as just one of my all-time favorite projects. It's had an endless mystique value about itself. And I would watch this tons when I was growing up, and it feels like it just kind of reveals itself more and more with the ages. It just feels like a very just familiar kind of like place of just subtle portrayal, and just one of the most believable character arcs and transformation of all time. Just the way of Al Pacino, he has this gradual shift from being something of a war hero to a criminal leader throughout this the progression of this entire film, which is uniquely believable. There's just something gradually more cold-hearted about it past any point of return as the story progresses, and there's no shift based on like sudden epiphanies or anything like that, but rather it seems like every scene is subtle about contributing towards this ultimate arc, which just never fails to remain powerful and shocking upon every rewatch. And this remains my favorite crime film to be depicted from such a rosy perspective. This is just perfect in execution, as it just washes over kinds of mystique value of kind of like the full spectrum of a character who's facing something of an original kind of downward spiral, in contrast to what you see in a lot of Marlon Brando's portrayal, as well as Robert De Niro in the second. Doesn't really, Coppola just doesn't really waste a frame here in how it's all told, while the screenplay is just organic and conveying one of the most entertaining depictions of characters with an atmosphere to it that just features some of the greatest moments of just charisma and characterization. The baptism scene washes over so many layers of mystique value that it's timeless in its dark heart. Like there's a darkness about it. It's very gloomy. Also feels like it's strongly foreshadowing, especially like Paul Thomas Anderson's 2000s era. As the cinematography just has this really original atmosphere about it, and it resonates with wonder. As it feels like Coppola kind of has a unique perspective. It reminds me also a lot of like an Andrei Tarkovsky kind of way of looking at it, where there's just a lot of wonder, a sense of true wonder about all of it. And this is just a film that just has an ultimate way of just rich value of suspense, and just seems like all the moments of the soundtrack and just the way it all elevates this mood. It's really hypnotic, simply put, and it's always fascinating. It's always very timeless and charismatic how the characters are portraying, which is like kind of offbeat for the crime genre, considering how it's all evolved. And I think this one has its place in just kind of just how well the downfall is all portrayed, and there's kind of just a unique sense of wonder about these looming forces of evil that lives in The Godfather. It was like Coppola's perspective. It's kind of Coppola in general, a unique sense of wonder in the face of just like evil and torment, you could say. And Diane Keaton's just a wonderfully fleshed out character in all this also, and this is just a really epic cinematic depiction of a slow paced sort of breakdown, and you can see that Pacino's relation to Brando and De Niro, same person, and it kind of defines the series, and it's just more and more fascinating in time. As it seems like Coppola was already making this as a means of getting to his passion projects by way of The Conversation and Apocalypse Now, which kind of turns out like while kind of getting to that, like he was kind of making his ultimate work here, and it just can't be expressed how great Robert Duvall is in all this. He just has all these kind of resonating metaphors, and then just the way the whole Rhoda soundtrack just has this just grace and melancholia about the entire surrounding story. And I would say this is ultimately a film that's like, it's just kind of a wide wavelength of just emotions ranging from it's often bleak, it can be very beautiful, it can be very violent, thought-provoking, it can be kind of scary, and it can be kind of funny, kind of just definitely a subtly comedic tone in moments. And it's just ultimately nothing boring about it. It's just all very entertaining. And just the way that the just everyone kind of conveys these characters here, there really is something just completely wonderful about it. Very rewatchable. It's just, and I always like, I kind of consider the mark of a timeless project is whenever it feels like I look at it and I see something new every time. The Godfather certainly is one of those. It really feels like a fresh or original viewing upon every viewing, and the mystique value just feels more it feels like a more familiar yet mystifying kind of place both at once, and that's just a very original foundation from start to finish.